Hello everyone, my name is Rich Aguilera and I'm so excited to see you again this week. I'm glad you're here for the primary Sabbath School review. So of course you know that the story of Noah is now complete and we moved on to a different part of the Bible. What are we going to talk about this week? Hopefully you've been following along in your lesson already and you know that the story is going to be about Moses and the children of Israel. Let's see what happens with them. But first of all, let me just remind you that you can follow along in the lesson by going to the webpage, which is gracelink.net/primary. You can just check it out there for free online. You don't even have to print it. Or you can go to the ABC store and buy a physical copy if that's what you want. A couple different options so you can do that. Also, don't forget, if you have a printer, you can go to my website, which is uniquechristiantoys.com/free stuff. And download the activity sheet that I make every week with games and puzzles and stuff. Now I have some interesting news for you guys. Since you guys have been following along, giving me some feedback, I'm excited to announce that I am in the process of not doing the PDF paper that you download anymore, and I'm switching over to be able to have those games online. Because I'm hearing that there's a lot of people that don't have printers at home, and that's okay, not everybody has one. But I do want you kids to be able to play the games and the other puzzles and things that I do, so I'm excited to announce that I'm working on switching over so that the games and activities are online on that same webpage, so you can do everything at the website. Woo-hoo. That'd be cool. So of course today we're checking out the lesson, which is for June 6th, and there's a lot of cool stuff that we're going to talk about. I've mentioned before as well, we'd like to help other parents know about this as well. So if you can hit that little share button down there, it's the best way to spread the word. Help me let other parents know that this resource exists for them. Are you ready? Because now it's time for brain teaser. You're teasing my brain. I'm sharpening it for you. Oh, are you ready for the brain teaser this week? I think this is a hard one. But then again, you guys have been getting some of these other ones that I think is hard. I'll read it for you guys. Here we go. Ready? Here we go. I use my ear to speak and my mouth to hear. What am I? I use my ear to speak and my mouth to hear. What am I? Oh boy, I can see the smoke coming out of your head already. What could that be? I won't tell. But right now, I do want to show you today's artifact. It's right here next to me. Look at it. It's like a little chimpanzee made out of a coconut. Isn't that cool? Just carved out by knife, by hand. Of course, you can see right there it says Cuba. I picked this up in Cuba. Isn't that cool? A coconut made into an ape, a monkey. Little ears and everything. All right, so I'm going to talk about that in a few minutes. But right now, it's time to check out today's verse of the day. It's found in Isaiah 58:13 and 14. It says, "If you call the Sabbath a delight, you will find joy in your Lord." Oh, wow. I love the Sabbath. That's my favorite day of the week. And today the lesson is talking about the Sabbath. But I'm not going to say anything else because we're going to go talk about the lesson outside. Are you ready to hit the great outdoors? I love being outside. Let's go. The story this week out of the Bible is about Moses and the children of Israel. They were in Egypt. They were slaves. How horrible. But God delivered them and He freed them from slavery. And this happened kind of quick because right after the plagues, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, boom, they were out of there. They did not have a whole lot of time to pack up their stuff and pack up food and sandwiches. They just took off as quickly as they could. Well, they're out there in the desert, starting to get hot. The routine's kind of getting a little repetitive, right? Just kind of hike, camp, sleep, hike, camp, sleep, hike, camp, sleep. They were just doing this every day, trying to get as far away and as fast as they could. But you know what the Bible says? Apparently they started running out of food. Ooh, that's a kind of a very important little detail. They started getting hungry. Their tummies started to growl. Of course, they started complaining to Moses. Moses, you took us out of Egypt, and there's no food out here. What are we supposed to do? They even started saying stuff like, we had it better in Egypt because there was tons of food. I'm like, you forgot already that you were slaves? But human nature, you start complaining. There's no food out here, we're starving. We want to go back. Of course, Moses talks to God, and God tells him that he will provide food for his people. And Moses tells him that. And it's just another amazing promise because God continues to provide for us. And the way that he provided was amazing because every single morning there would be a thing on the ground, food laying on the ground called manna. And of course, the funny thing is when you translate manna, it's, what is it? Because the children of Israel woke up and they're like, food laying on the ground? What is it? So they would pick it up every morning and they would be able to eat it and turn it into different kinds of food, I'm assuming. That's kind of cool. Now, God gave them some very specific rules on the manna. It wasn't just walk around all day and whenever you want. No. He said, pick it up in the morning and it's to last you all day. And only pick up for one day. Because if you try to pick up for the next day, and of course there's some people that always think they're smarter than God. They try to pick up for the next day. They're like, dude, this is great. I'm going to pick up a bunch of this stuff. Of course, they tried to store it overnight and it rotted. And it had worms. The Bible actually says that. And the people are like, that's disgusting. So they learned that they had to pick it up only the day they were going to eat it. Again, God provides for us because he loves us. And that reminds me of that coconut that I was telling you about earlier. The coconut that I got from Cuba. You know, coconut is a plant. And that is food that God provides for us. It says it right there in Genesis 1. God provided plants for us to eat. He's always provided for us. He's never let us down. That is so cool. Now, there was an interesting little caveat there about the manna, because when it came to the Sabbath day, God didn't want us working on the Sabbath day because that is the day of rest, the day that we worship and keep holy. And God said, wait a second though, but on Sabbath, I'm going to let you pick up twice as much on Friday. And of course, the children of Israel are like, yeah, you know what happens if you do that. But God made a special exception because on Sabbath morning, the manna was not rotten. He would preserve it somehow so that they could just eat it on Sabbath and it still be in great shape. Again, God providing, God taking care of us, and God showing us how special the Sabbath is. Remember, the Sabbath is a gift to us. It's not like something that we have to do, like some job. It's a gift, and it is one of the best gifts. A day that we can stop from school and work and all that stuff and honor and worship God with everything we do. I love that story. All right, how about we go for a ride in the Jeep now? Yeah, come on, let's go. Back when I was in college, I had an interesting experience. I was living in Europe. I spent a year living in Europe, in France, and during the breaks, they would give us time to explore. Some friends and I decided that we were going to take a train down to Athens, Greece. From France, that means we'd have to go down into Italy and then cross through Yugoslavia. The problem is, Yugoslavia was at war. So we did a little research and see if it was possible. And they said you can get a transit visa, which says you have permission to cross through the country, but don't get out because we're at war. I'm like, okay, you got it, man. We will not get off your train. Just coming through, trying to be safe. Of course, we don't want to get messed up in any kind of a war. We got on the train and we started chugging right along. As soon as we got into Yugoslavia, though, the train kept getting stopped. Soldiers would stop us in the middle of the field. And they'd get on board and they'd check our passports, check our visas, check our papers, check our luggage, check everything. Then they'd let us go and we'd go for like an hour, 45 minutes, and another bunch of soldiers would stop us. And they'd check everything again. Check our papers, check our passports, checking. The ride was only supposed to last like 6, 7, 8 hours. But they kept stopping us because the country was at war. Now, we weren't ready for a very long ride. We had brought some sandwiches and some snacks. But the train kept stopping and we couldn't get off the train to buy stuff. We were starting to get hungry. And then we got really hungry. You know how long it took for the train to finally arrive to Greece? 52 hours. That's like almost 2.5 days. We were starving by the time we got there. We were like the children of Israel in the desert, starving. Of course, in the story of the Bible, God provided. And of course, the story for us, we got to Greece. The Greek people provided because we bought so much food. We were so hungry. We were so happy. But it's just a little reminder of what it's like to be hungry. Have you ever been really hungry, right? Where you missed a meal or even 2 meals? What a reminder. It's not fun being hungry. But it is great when God provides for us. And I love that story again because it reminds us of how important the Sabbath is. All right, hey, should we check in on Dusty and Feather? Let's see what they're up to.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it doesn't matter if you walk on 2 or 4 or no legs. We're glad you're here and welcome to the Dusty and Feather Show.
Hello, everyone. Hello and welcome to our show. We're so glad that you've joined us here today. Oh, yes, we're so happy to see you, even if you only have 2 legs. At least they have legs. That's true. Feather, what matters is that they're here because they love God and they love all the amazing animals He's created. That's right. Every week, we're so excited to talk and learn about a new animal with you. Correct. Oh, I don't think I will ever run out of amazing animals to talk about, Feather. I know. There are so many to pick from. Do you know which animal we're going to be talking to the kids about today, Feather? Please don't say frog. Yes, I do, and no, it's not frog. Phew, good. I'm already feeling better. I'm glad, Dusty, since this week's lesson is talking about the children of Israel wandering around in the desert. Oh, let me guess. The camel. No, although the camels are good animals to have in the desert, I was thinking about a different creature, one that has to go long periods of time without eating. Oh boy, a clue. Let me think. I can just tell you the animal, Dusty. No, don't tell me. I want to guess. But, no, I can guess. Let's see. Animals in the desert that can go long periods of time without eating. I know. A penguin. A penguin? Yeah, I saw a show where they can go months without eating while they're taking care of their babies. In the desert? Oh yeah. Huh. I guess that doesn't work, huh? No. Do you want to keep guessing? And by the way, I didn't say it was an animal that lives in the desert. I was just saying that the children of Israel were hungry in the desert. Oh, well, I'd say that's an important detail. So, then it is the penguin? Nope. Good guess, though. Don't tell me. I'm thinking, is it the bear? Nope. It's true, though. Bears can go without food for a couple months. Can I give you a hint, Dusty? Okay, fine. Give me a hint, but not too big of a hint. Make it a tiny hint. Okay, a tiny hint. This creature can live up to 10 years without eating. 10 years? What? Are you kidding me? How can any animal survive 10 years without eating? I can't even go a day without eating nachos. Feather, are you sure? Yep, I'm sure. Up to 10 years. No food. Wow. Well, can you then at least tell me what part of the world they live in? Sure. These creatures live in Europe. Bonjour. I'm not hungry right now, thank you. Not France. Boy, this is really getting hard, Feather. I give up. Okay. The creature is called an olm. An olm? Yep, olm. O-L-M. They're a kind of salamander that lives in the caves, in water, their whole lives. And here's a picture of one. Wow, I've never even heard of them. Well, a lot of people haven't, especially since they only live in that one part of the world. I just don't see how they could survive for 10 years without eating nachos. Or other food. By the way, they grow to be about 10 or 12 inches long. You know, the children of Israel should have had a few of these as pets. spots in the desert. They would never complain about being hungry. Yeah, I suppose. I don't think that a salamander that likes to live in the water would do very well in the desert, Dusty. Oh, yeah, that's true. You know what? I'm out of here. Where are you going, Dusty? Where else? I'm gonna go eat some nachos. Bye, everyone.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Dusty and Feather. Ooh, nachos sound kind of good right now. But right now, of course, it's time for Game Show. You know how this works. I'm going to ask you 5 questions about stuff that we've talked about and maybe some stuff that we haven't talked about. That was in the lesson. But I know you've been paying attention, and I'm pretty sure you're going to do awesome. Are you ready for question number 1? Remember, if you know the answer, just shout it out. Here we go. Question number 1. What's the name of the very special day that God set aside for us every week? That's right, the Sabbath. Awesome, favorite day. Cool, good job, guys. Let's check out question number 2. The Bible says that manna tasted like what? That's right, wafers and honey. That's kind of curious. That does sound good, actually. I want some. All right, good job. Let's check out question number 3. What was the name of the country that was at war that we had to get through in my story today? That's right, Yugoslavia. It's not called Yugoslavia anymore. It actually got divided up into a bunch of smaller countries. All right, let's check out question number 4. You guys are doing so good. My souvenir that I got in Cuba was made of what? That's right, coconut. Food that God provides for us. All right, good job, guys. Let's check out question number 5. What is the name of that salamander that lives in Europe that can live up to 10 years without eating? That's right, the olm. Very good. You guys got all 5. Very nice job. Of course, now it's time for us to talk about the brain teaser. That was hard. I am so curious to see how many of you guys got it. Let me give you one last chance to think about it. I'll read it for you now. Here we go. I use my ear to speak and my mouth to hear. What am I? The answer? A phone. Get it? You listen to the ear and talk to the mouth? Oh, I know that was kind of confusing. Oh man, I know that. A lot of you guys got it though. Well, I'm so glad that you guys joined me today, and I am so excited already to talk to you again next week about the lesson. Remember to keep checking your lesson, keep studying, keep reading every week. Spend time with God as well. All right, it's time to pray to God right now. Let's bow our heads. Dear Jesus, dear Father, thank you so much for this lesson. Also for the reminder of how special the Sabbath is. Thank you for that amazing gift you gave us. Help us to never forget and help us to celebrate it every week. We love you. In Jesus' name, amen. Well, guys, I'm so glad that you were here with me. I am already excited about next week. Have a great week. We'll see you soon.